Hello, everyone. Welcome to newstreamingnetwork.com, home of Going Solo Media, Going Bold Media, and our wonderful radio station, WGSN-DB, Going Solo Network. I am so pleased to have you here on the show with us. It's called Going Solo Life Transitions, and I am your host here today. I am Cece Shatz. I'm fondly called the Doyenne of Relationship Building. I'm a divorce, dating, and a life coach, and the author of Own Your Mic. And I'm very pleased for that. So what I've been doing over the years is really connecting singles through my website, which is called Going Solo Network. So check it out, GoingSoloNetwork.com. So today we're going to talk about a subject that's very dear to my heart, and it's something that I think is very important. And it's going on, and we don't quite realize exactly what it is. So let's talk about it. Our topic today is too many choices, not enough love, breaking free from the paradox of choice and situationships. So do we know what a situationship is? Well, we're going to talk about that here today. So I want to welcome everyone here to the station, and I want to really dive into this because it's something that so many of us are experiencing in the dating world, but we may not even realize it's happening, right? It's called the paradox of choice. And so we're going to talk about that in heavy duty today. And if we don't get through it, we're going to go through part 2. So let's see how we do on this. So while it sounds like we have more options, right, with choices and that it should make dating easier, but it actually is the very thing that's keeping us stuck. It's keeping us disconnected, and even in relationships that never fully really develop, right? They never really truly become real. And so we're going to be living in a time where meeting someone is easier than ever. And that's happening right now. It's very easy. With all the dating apps, all the social platforms, we have access to hundreds and thousands of potential partners. But instead of feeling excited and hopeful, many people, even myself, feeling overwhelmed, burned out, and unsure of what they truly want. So that's what we're going to talk about today. And here's what even is more important, right? The overload of choices. Choices, choices, choices. We love that, but then again, it's creating the rise in something that we're seeing everywhere today, non-committal dating and situationships. So think about that, non-committal dating and situationships. So really, what is happening is when we feel like there are endless options, we hesitate to fully choose one person. We keep swiping left, swiping right. We keep wondering, are we thinking, is there someone else better out there for us? And then we just click away, right? And instead of building something meaningful, we stay in these in-between spaces, these situationships, those connections where you're spending time together, but there's no real direction, right? And so you're having a great time. You're going out, you're having fun, they might be staying over for the weekend, all of this kind of stuff. But are you emotionally involved? And that is really where the non-committal place is. There's no commitment. There's no true commitment. We say to ourselves, yes, as we're into the relationship, I love you. I love you. And we're not maybe even dating other people, right? But we're truly not in a committed relationship. And so we're hoping that it becomes something more. So we stay and it becomes unclear. And as we continue on, and that is one of the most emotionally exhausting places to be. When one party is just kind of skating through and the other one wants something more. They're hanging on, thinking something more is going to happen from this. So really, truly understanding it, the psychologic behind it. The more choices that we have, the harder it is to decide, and the less satisfied we feel with the choice we make. We second guess, right, ourselves. We constantly are second guessing ourselves. Are we with the right person? Are we with the wrong person? We keep going through that. Is there someone else better out there? Should we compare? We compare relationships other people have to the relationships we have, right? So we do all of this. So we question dating, right? We question what often leads to keeping one foot out the door. And if you've ever heard me say that before, when we talk about on Date the Right One, and I hope you'll join me on that platform because that's really quite fun. And we learn a lot as we continue on to that. But keeping one foot out the door is not fully investing. And that's what I mean about commitment. It's not so much that maybe you're not seeing someone else, right? But you're not fully invested. And the reason why you're not fully invested is because you think there's another choice out there. You think there's something else for you. Maybe this isn't truly developing the way you want it to be. You're not fully showing up because you're afraid of missing out on something better, right? You think there could be something better on that. And what happens when we don't fully choose someone? We don't fully build with them either. We stay shallow in the connections. We don't really fully retain all that we possibly can. And we don't give to the other person all that they deserve, right? And that they want. We avoid deeper emotional intimacy. We keep things easy but fulfilling. We have a great time. We go out, we have a great time. We claim each other in front of other people, right? We do all of those things, but we're not totally there yet. We still have one foot out, right? And we're kind of calling the shots as we want it, the other party, right? So you got one party that's in all the way, and then you got the other party where they're kind of calling the shots as to what is kind of happening. And before we know it, weeks, months, sometimes even years into something more that no clearer foundation. It's a quiet trap of situationship. And I want you to hear that again, because this goes on over and over and over again. People fall into relationships which they're just situationships, right? They're not a fully committed, both feet in type of relationship where they're giving 100% of each other to each other, the time and all that takes place in a relationship. And so this can go on for a long time thinking things will change, right? And it becomes very, very difficult. So how do we avoid this? How do we avoid that power shift that happens in a relationship? So let's talk about it. So let's talk about protecting our hearts and stepping into something healthier, right? So we need to get clear, very clear on our intentions. So as an individual, and understand the intentions of the other person, right? And get very deep and clear on that. So before you even start dating, ask yourself, what do you truly want? Because if you're unclear, if you will accept to be unclear, right? If you step into it and you're unclear, and you accept a partner that's unclear about what they want, you're in trouble, right? You're deeply in trouble. So you have to communicate early. You have to have the conversation about what are you looking for right now, and listen to not just the words but to the energy behind it. And I think we miss that. We miss the energy that's behind that. So often we'll hear, or they'll tell us, not, and even women do the too. I'm not saying it's just men, but we say what the other person we think they want to hear because we want the relationship to continue, right? We want it to kind of continue. So we'll say it, but then the energy is not behind it, right? So the vagueness early on about, what they truly want becomes confusion later, right? And so you really truly want to watch the actions, not the words, the consistency in connection, inconsistency in information. Mixed signals are not mixed, but they're actually very, very clear, right? So let's think about that for a minute. Let's stop for a minute and think about that. Because when we're getting mixed signals, we think to ourselves, well, maybe they're not quite, we're stepping into this. You've got to give them a little bit of time to be able to understand. The reality is when you get mixed signals, it's very clear. They don't know what they want, right? And as they're moving forward. And I don't want to make this like a Debbie Downer, so to speak. I guess we said that, and all Debbies out there, I apologize. But I don't want it to be a downer, right? I want it to be focused on you and what it is that you want. And when you are with somebody that is giving you mixed signals, right? They don't have this clear intention. Their actions are not backing it up. Then you need to step back from that. And I'm saying this from your perspective, right? Think about what it is that you truly want. And if you're not seeing it from another person, then you want to really be guarded with your heart because you'll fall into this situationship. So let's say there's a gray area. Don't stay in the gray area. Give connection time to grow, but not time to undefine forever. Clarity is not pressure, it's respect. Okay. And I think that's important that we need to understand. If someone is not being clear to us, it's really not respectful to us, because if we know what we want and we're straight up and we say this is where we expect our relationship to go. This is what I'm dating for. This is what the kind of relationship I want. Now, I'm not saying you're going to fall into it immediately, that you're going to get it wham bam, that's it. It takes time to build a relationship with someone. It takes time to understand them, know how they tick, understand whether that's truly what you want in your life, right? But if they don't have clarity, that they don't want the same thing you want and they're not on the same page that you are, they're being disrespectful to you. And you need to step back from that and say, you know what? Not pressuring, but I need clarity in my life as I step forward. I definitely need that. So let's shift to the options of the mindset. Let's shift our mindset a little bit. So when you treat dating like a buffet, right, that you feel that you're satisfied, then you want to slow down a bit, right? And I know that kind of sounds weird, right? Because when I was researching this, I came up with different things, and this is one of the things they said. Because what happens is like when you start dating, right, and you're out there and you're dating a lot of different people, there's so many different people that, different personalities and all of that you're dating. And so sometimes you need to slow down a little bit and ask yourself what it is truly that you want. What type of person do you really truly want in your life? And so you want to be able to not speed into something. And if you meet someone, you don't want to speed into that either. You want to stop for a minute. You want to slow down. You want to be intentional. You want to be present, right? If not, you're already in a situationship, right? So if you are not, now let me ask you, in your relationship, if you're not intentional with what you do, both parties, if you're not intentional with what you do, if you're not building towards a relationship together, and that's what I always tell everyone, right? So as we're dating, we're building a relationship together, right? We know deep in our hearts what we want at the end result. And you need to share that with your potential partner. And if they're on the same page, then you're moving towards something together, right? But if you're not doing intentional steps towards that, then you're not going anywhere, right? So, and I'm not saying you have to go with speed lightning. I'm saying you have to be present in the moment and you have to work towards it. So it's scary. So if you're already in a situationship, right? And if you're listening right now and you feel this is this truly is in your heart, I want you to gently walk through this with me, right? So if you feel like, oh no, I really do think, maybe I'm caught up in this. It's been, months and years and I'm in this kind of relationship and it's not going anywhere. It's not moving forward. They're afraid of the ring. They're afraid of, taking it a step further. Now, you don't have to be married, right? You can be together without being married, but you have to have a full, total commitment, if you're looking for that. So again, if you've come together as a relationship does, right? And you say what it is that you truly want, and they say what they truly want, and you're together on the same page, and that isn't working out, then you want to really, truly get honest with yourself. Are your needs being met, or are you just holding on to potential? And often we miss this, right? We miss about what our needs are because we think, okay, well, we're focused on the other person. But the reality is, to build a relationship, we have to focus on us, right? Not only about what we're getting, but also what we're giving, right? And so are our needs met? Because our needs, personal needs, to be met along with giving to someone else, right? So are your needs being met? Are you holding on to potential? Are you saying, well, I think down the road things will change, things will be different, right? It's not then it's not a relationship. If you ask yourself, I, you know, are my needs being met? And if they're not being met, if there's things that you question, there's things that you doubt, there's things that you make you unhappy, right? That make you sad. But you say to yourself, maybe down the road things will change. We're new into this, we've got to take some time building. You're truly not in a relationship. You could be still building into a relationship, but you've got to be careful that it doesn't turn into a situationship, right? Right? So you want to honor your feelings. A situationship can feel very real. And just because it's undefined doesn't mean it doesn't hurt, right? Just because you're in a relationship that you haven't really made it all the way through, right? It doesn't mean it doesn't hurt. Your feelings are valid. They truly are valid. And so you want to have that clarity of conversation. Ask the question, what are we doing here? Where are we going, right? What are we doing? And clarity is not confrontation, it's self-respect. And there's many times when I've said that in a relationship, where do you see this going? And maybe where I see it going is not what they see it going, right? And where are you comfortable? Are you comfortable? Because maybe I'm not comfortable because I want and I'm looking for more. So you have to ask the hard questions, because that's communication. And if you cannot ask those hard questions and you get vague answers, then you know the reality of what that is, right? So you want to accept reality. If someone tells you that they're not ready, believe them, right? They don't fall in love with what could be. Honor that. We as women, we don't want that. We always think, oh, it'll change. Things will be better down the road. We must listen and we must pay attention to what we hear, So if someone tells you that they're not ready, then believe them. Don't fall in love with what could be. Honor and respect yourself. Be willing to walk away. This is the hardest thing. I mean, it truly is the hardest thing. When you see potential in someone, but you're not truly getting all of what you deserve, they're not really focused, they're not steadfast, they're not grounded into what it is that you're looking for in a relationship. It is so hard to walk away because it hurts, right? But it's also the most powerful thing. You cannot receive a committed relationship while holding on to a non-committal one. So think about that for a minute. You cannot receive a committed relationship while holding on to a non-committal one. And that is really a smack in the face, isn't it? It truly is. So reconnect with your worth. You deserve it. You deserve clarity. You deserve consistency. You deserve emotional safety. You're not too much for wanting something real. And I've heard that before, where, oh, you just want too much. No, not too much. I want it all. And I want all of it for you and for me, right? So you want to keep that real. That is a real relationship. So I want you to sit with this for a moment. I want you to think about it. Are you being chosen or are you being available? And that is the difference between a relationship and a situationship. Are you truly being chosen? Are you the chosen one? Not the guy that brings you the flowers and makes you feel good, and all this. Are you truly chosen? The one that's willing to give you everything, right? Because men will lay it down if they love you. If they truly are in, they'll lay it all down for you. If they don't, then are you just being available to them? It's comfortable. We're going to ride that ship, right? Because it's comfortable. And so what you're experiencing is connection, or confusion. So are you in a relationship where you question it all the time? Are you holding on to truly what's being held, right? It's really, really difficult, as we continue to move forward in everything. and that we have so many choices to make, right? So here's what I want you to take with you today. Too many choices can keep you from choosing all, right? And when we don't choose, we often find ourselves in a relationship that we don't truly choose each other. But the moment you choose yourself, your worth, your needs, your vision, your love, everything begins to shift for you. It becomes love. It becomes real, right? Everything becomes real for you. And that is truly what we want. It's not confusing. It's not uncertain. And there's never something you have to question. I want to thank you for being here with me today. And I hope that this resonates with you. Well, I hope it doesn't resonate with you, right? Because if you're in a situationship, it hurts, it's painful, right? We can really take on what we want, right? As we go through. So I want you, if you would please, do me the honor to subscribe. Share this episode with someone you know who needs to hear it. Explore, explore this episode with someone who needs to hear it, and more empowering to have a conversation about it, right? I hope that you'll do that. I hope that you will do that. This is a very tough topic. It's a very hard topic to talk about because we want more in life. We want the best, right? We want to be able to continue on thinking, okay, we're in this and we're going to give it time, because love isn't built overnight, right? So we think to ourselves, we want to give it time. But we have to ask ourselves, are we really truly getting everything that we deserve, right? And we must listen, right, as we continue on. So as you continue on a relationship, I don't want to discourage you if you're having a good relationship. I just want you to question whether you're in it with both feet, both men and women. If you're in it with both feet, if you're moving forward, if you've got, it's like how many times have you ever heard, if you don't have a vision, for your future, you have nowhere to go, right? So if you don't have that vision together that you're trying to achieve and you're trying to create with each other, then you have a situationship. And it's okay if that's what you want. But if you don't want that, if one party wants a true relationship and the other party doesn't, then you must think about this, because feelings are painful. They're very, very painful. So I hope you enjoyed the show here today. It has been my pleasure to be able to be here with you, and I hope that you enjoy it. This show is called Going Solo Life Transitions, and it is just about everything. We talk about relationships, we talk about work, we talk about just anything under the sun, right? And I hope that you enjoyed this episode, because I really do truly want the show to be able to be one that connects with you, that you can maybe listen to and think, okay, I need to work on myself. It's all really about self-development, as we continue on. It truly is. So I hope you guys will reach out to me. I love to hear from you. I answer my emails directly. So GoingSoloNetwork@gmail.com. You can email me with any questions that you might have, anything that you'd like to listen to on the show. I would love to share it with you. Check out my website. My personal website is GoingSoloNetwork.com. GoingSoloNetwork.com. That's where a lot of my groups and things are. And we're going to be doing a lot more things. I have been a little bit on the mending side. So I have had some issues, health issues. So I've been kind of falling back a little bit on that, but I'm feeling better, and I'm going to be moving forward a little bit with some things. So join that. We have a ladies group. We have a singles group. We've got a group that they want to date. And so we're talking about that and connecting that way. And we have a travel group online on Facebook, and a divorce group on Facebook. So we've got a lot of things there. So just connect with us if you need to. And if you don't feel that you're getting help that you need, reach out to me and let me see if I can help you with something, because I'm always happy to do that. I do coaching. I do private coaching. I do a lot of group coaching. And I'd love to be able to help you if you need any help at all. And I hope that if you enjoyed the show, I hope that you will like it, share it, comment, and please subscribe to our channel, New Streaming Network. Those of you that don't know, I am the founder of newstreamingnetwork.com. And but my channel, the channel newstreamingnetwork.com is not about me. It's about all the wonderful hosts that we have there. So I hope that you'll listen to that and you'll enjoy that. So I'm going to let you go now. I want to thank you so much for joining us here today on Going Solo Life Transitions, and I'll catch you back next time. Thank you, everyone, for listening to this, and I hope that you enjoyed it. Talk to you later. Bye.